What did Merry truly bring to the fellowship? Friendship and loyalty, of course. But can we point to something specific he did that truly changed the course of events, beyond stabbing the Witch King? I believe we can. Hi everyone, this is Robert. Welcome to In Deep Geek. Here we explore The Lord of the Rings, a song of ice and fire and other great fantasy worlds, from The Witcher to beyond. At first glance, Merry Brandybuck often seems like the least significant member of the Fellowship. He was one of the last two chosen, alongside Pippin, and even Elrond had doubts about their inclusion. But as we'll see, Merry's quiet courage and practical wisdom shaped the story in ways few realize. Yes, there's that moment with the Witch King. We'll get to that. But long before that, Merry had already made an impact. In the films, Merry and Pippin stumble into Frodo and Sam while stealing crops from Farmer Maggot's fields. But in the books, things were very different. Their involvement began long before the Fellowship, and it all started with Merry. As a teenager, nearly 20 years before the War of the Ring, Merry noticed something strange. Bilbo Baggins, his distant cousin, suddenly disappearing, seemingly to avoid the Sackville Bagginses, and then reappearing moments later, slipping something golden and shining into his pocket. Merry grew suspicious. And when Bilbo vanished again at his 111st birthday party, he became even more curious. He worried that Frodo might do the same, vanish one day never to return. So Merry gathered his closest friends, Pippin, Sam, and Fredegar Bolger, forming what became known as the Conspirators. He told them what he had seen and instructed them to watch Frodo carefully. Over time, the clues became impossible to ignore. Frodo had begun wandering the Shire, quietly saying goodbye to his favorite places. He had sold Bag End to the Sackville Bagginses and was meeting secretly with Gandalf. Merry took charge. He made sure that when Frodo finally left, he wouldn't be alone. Sam and Pippin would go with him, while Merry and Fredegar prepared Crickhollow in advance. He stocked it with food, ponies, and supplies so that when Frodo arrived, he could move on without delay. And that small act of preparation changed everything, because the Black Riders were already closing in. If not for Merry's foresight, Frodo and the Ring might never have escaped the Shire. Gandalf was a prisoner of Saruman. Aragorn was far away. But Merry made sure the mission stayed alive. His little speech to Frodo sums up that unbreakable bond. You can trust us to stick with you through thick and thin, to the bitter end. You can trust us to keep your secrets closer than you keep them yourself, but you cannot trust us to let you face trouble alone. We are your friends, Frodo. True to that promise, Merry stood by him, though at times he faltered. Like when he fell prey to Old Man Willow and the Barrow Wight, he always rose again. When the group reached Bree, Merry once again proved his worth. While the others rested at the prancing pony, he went for a walk and spotted a Black Rider. He followed, was struck down by the Black Breath, and then rescued by Nob, Butterbur's assistant. When he returned, he warned the others just in time. That warning saved their lives. Because of Merry, Aragorn and the Hobbit switched rooms, escaping death when the Nazgul attacked in the night. Aragorn's first impression of Merry was telling. You have a stout heart, though it was foolish. And that perfectly sums him up. Brave, even when afraid. Merry remained outspoken through the journey to Weathertop and Rivendell, and during Elrond's council, he insisted that he and Pippin should continue with Frodo. When Elrond objected, Gandalf replied, it would be well to trust their friendship rather than great wisdom. And so, Merry became part of the Fellowship. In the mountains in Moria and beyond, Merry rarely had a chance to shine, but his bravery never faltered. He was the first to organize the Hobbits, the first to quietly take leadership when no one else could. Even after the breaking of the Fellowship, Merry never gave up. His and Pippin's encounter with Treebeard in Fangorn Forest led directly to the downfall of Saruman, a small event that triggered an avalanche of change. As Gandalf said, it was not in vain that the young hobbits came with us. Then came Merry's most defining moment, his loyalty to King Theoden of Rohan, a hobbit with no battle training, swearing fealty to a king and sneaking into a war he wasn't allowed to fight in. Theoden had tried to protect him, but when he found out Merry had disobeyed, he simply said, "A great heart will not be denied." and that great heart changed destiny. When Éowyn faced the Witch King of Angmar, Merry's courage awoke. He saw her wounded and thought she should not die unaided. His heart filled with pity and wonder, and with a cry of her name, Éowyn, he struck the Witch King, not out of hope for victory but out of compassion. He expected to die, yet acted anyway. That was Merry's greatness. Courage born of kindness. And at the very end, after all the wars were done, it was Merry, alongside Pippin, who led the Shire's resistance against Sharky's men. Once again, a leader. So what did Merry bring to the Fellowship? He wasn't just another hobbit tagging along. He was thoughtful, brave, and deliberate. While Pippin often changed fate by accident, Merry did so by choice. He organized the conspirators, secured Frodo's escape, warned Aragorn about the Black Riders, stood firm before Elrond, pledged himself to Theoden, and struck the Witch King not for glory but for love and loyalty. Merry didn't follow the Fellowship, he helped build it. He was a hero deserving his place among the great company, and without him, as with the others, on the mission might very well have failed.